to Ketolicious Nessa. Y'all, today on the menu, we got some fried keto, smothered chicken, and some fried cabbage. We're going to get into these ingredients a little bit, y'all. This was a dinner I was preparing for myself, but it became a meal prep, so you're going to see that. Before we get started, I want to get into this IsoPure. I told you guys this is really dirty keto. It wouldn't be strict keto. You see, it is no carbs. But when you see wean and soy and stuff, that makes it dirty keto. Because if you were strict keto, you wouldn't be eating anything with that being the first ingredient. So I just wanted to make that clear. But this is the ingredients that we are going to be using. I got this recipe from Mr. Dang it. I can't think of his name right this second, but I'm going to put it down here below. And I'm also going to link his video down in the description. But I watch his videos and he be cooking some good stuff. So if y'all go over there, let him know that I sent y'all. But this is his recipe on his gravy. It's a little different than what I'm used to doing. So that's what we're going to be doing. Those are all the ingredients I will be using to season my chicken breasts, and some of them I'll be using to do my cabbage. Those are just some of the peppers I had in the fridge. You see, we're using no sugar uncured bacon, and I'm going to be using some beef kibasi. There is a better kibasi that you could get from Whole Foods that does not have sugar in it, so that would be more of a dirty keto kibasi, but we're using it because I like the fat that comes off of it. The no sugar one doesn't really have a lot of fat, and we'll be using some butter. So we just got one cabbage. I'm not cooking. I thought I wasn't cooking a lot, y'all. I'm an empty nester now. If y'all don't know, if you don't follow me on Instagram. So yeah, I had to cook this meal for myself so I will have something to eat throughout the week and keep myself on track, because your girl been acting a damn fool. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But here y'all see I'm just starting up my cabbage by cutting up my bacon, cutting up my kibasi into pieces, and then we're going to cut up the veggies as well. We're going to get that bacon and that kibasi started frying on medium heat behind me while I cut up my peppers and onions and get those ready to go into the cabbage as well. We're going to cut up the cabbage. This cabbage, y'all, it had been in the refrigerator a couple days, and I can't remember. I think I got it at Aldi, so it wasn't the best cabbage, but it's going to do. I usually cut out the middle part, as y'all can see, the stem right there. It just makes it easier. I don't know. Some people may eat that, but I discard that, and then I cut up my cabbage. So that's what you see me here, just cutting out the core. That's what we'll call it, the core part of the cabbage. And then I just slice it, as you can see. That's how I usually like to slice mine. I'm going to slice this cabbage on up and make sure I just get all the pieces that I want and then put it in my strainer to be rinsed. So that's what you see there. We're going to go ahead and throw those peppers into that meat that I was already sauteing. I did put some pepper and salt and pepper on it. You want to season your vegetables as they are cooking. So once that's pretty much done, we're going to go ahead and throw that cabbage in there after it has been cleaned and washed. We're going to put that in there and then season it on up. So those are some of the seasons that I use. Sorry they going a little fast, but hit pause and go back and look. I always end off with some complete seasoning. I use complete seasoning on everything, okay? Love that seasoning. But I use a little garlic, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, Festa, Mrs. Dash. And I think that was it. And then you want to slice up a little bit of butter and put it in there. That was only like maybe 2 tablespoons. You get a lot of grease and oil from the bacon and the kibasi, so you don't need a whole lot. I think toward the end I did add a little bit more butter, but you can always add, but you can't take out. So, just, kind of eyeball it. But once you get all those seasonings in, go ahead and just cover it and let that go ahead and simmer. As you see here, I cut those two chicken breasts into halves, and now I'm just getting them tender. This is something I learned from the channel I watched, and it actually helps. It makes your chicken breast so tender, and it makes it cook evenly. So you just smash it up. If you don't have a meat tenderizer, just use a rolling pin. And then season it up on both sides of your chicken breast, as you see I'm doing here. Hopefully that's not going too fast. I feel like I'm going fast. And y'all know it's late when I'm doing this voiceover, so don't judge me. But here we're going to use a little bit more of that isopure. That isopure is what we're going to use to flour our chicken breast. And we're going to use my girl Rhonda red sauce, good as can be, all-purpose seasoning, because this is an unseasoned protein powder. So you want to season it just like you would season your flour. There I added a little bit more, and then getting my not olive oil, but avocado oil, all hot and ready in that cast iron skillet. So I did put one chicken breast in there. My temperature wasn't as hot as I wanted, so I had to let it get a little bit hotter. And as you see, it's ready. And I'm just throwing those chicken breasts in there. Usually I don't use that much oil, but I put a little bit more than I usually use. But it came out good. Actually, it was almost like deep frying them. So in that way, they was getting coated with the oil and everything. So yeah, so as you can see, this is the end product. When I tell you, as you can see, that one little piece got cut there. My kids was over and they wanted to taste the piece, so I let them taste it. But when you get your chicken out, do not touch it for 20 minutes. That's all that juice you see on the plate. You don't want to lose that, so just let it sit. We're going to use that same pan and put some butter in it. The only step I missed that he did was I didn't add more oil. The oil from the chicken breast, I didn't add it in there. That would have just gave it a little bit more flavor, but mine was still very flavorful without that. But you can do that step. I'm adding my onions in there, getting them all sauteed and yummy. Added a little salt and pepper to them. And now we're going to go in with a little bit more of that protein powder. You're going to use it like flour. The only thing with this, you have to really cook this longer than you probably would flour. You want to keep stirring, as I told y'all before. Stir, stir, stir. That's your best friend when it comes to this protein powder. You have to cook it and get that grittiness up out of there. So it takes a little bit longer than it would with flour. So whatever you would usually do with flour, double or triple that time. And just keep stirring it and until it gets to that pasty look, how that is right there. Then you're about ready to go. Then we're going to add 2 cups of chicken broth to the onions. And we're going to stir that up and let that get mixed in. And it's going to help it cook it, more than, more. Then we're going to add some soy sauce in there. That's my alternative soy sauce. That's 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of that garlic paste. I'm loving this garlic paste, y'all. And then just stir that in there. I was using a whisk and a spoon. Whisk just to make sure I was getting all the bits and pieces as well. And then I added a teaspoon of the chicken base. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. So that is pretty much the gist of making your gravy. And you just going to keep stirring this, y'all. I stirred this and let this cook, I'm going to say maybe about 10 to 15 minutes. There I'm adding a little Axton gum. That may not be how you say it, but that's how I say it. But you only add a little bit, and every time you add a little bit, you spread it around and you stir it immediately. So that's what you see me doing here. Then I add a little bit more in there, and then I stir it again. A little of that goes a long way, and that just helps thicken your gravy when you're doing keto. It just helps your gravy or any of your sauces because you're not using the things that usually help thicken it. So as you can see here, now it's looking all yummy after I done stirred it and gave it that love it needed for about a good 20 minutes. I'm going to say 20 minutes. Just stir it, y'all. Y'all see my dish towel on the side. Don't pay it no attention. I clean as I go, okay? Yes, that's the best practice. But yes, y'all see that gravy is getting thick. It's looking good. So good, y'all. So then we're going to throw those chicken breasts back into the gravy. Just like so. Yes, look at that. It's all coming together, ain't it? And let me tell you, when you use that IsoPure, if you fry your pork chops or fry anything, if you're not adding it to gravy, when you warm it up the next day, make sure you put it in the air fryer because it has a softer texture to it than flour. So you want to air fry your food the next day if you're not putting it like in a gravy or something like this. Like with this, I warmed it up in the microwave. It was fine, but just a heads up. But look at that, y'all. Do you see that? You can't tell me that don't look good, okay? And it's keto, okay? So then I threw some rice together, just pulled some. I figured I needed some rice to go with this. So I pulled out some cauliflower rice, threw that in a pan with some chicken broth. That helps cook your cauliflower rice and some chicken broth a little bit and just let that cook out with a little chicken base, and it's wonderful. So now we're going to plate up. As you can see, that chicken breast looking delicious. And we're Mr. Make It Happen. That's his name. He call it the money shot. And then we're going to throw some green onions on there. And look at this, y'all. Tell me this don't look good. When I say so delicious, so delicious. The chicken just, when I tell you I ate this plate, I was so full. So full. Like, that's the thing about keto. When you eat keto, you get full faster and it helps you stay full. As you can see, that chicken just falls apart. So good. When I tell y'all, so tender, so juicy. So this the best chicken breast I ever made in my life. I'm not even gonna lie. So good. This is a delicious meal. Good for meal prep. And when I tell you, this was the perfect meal prep. I ate some today for lunch and it was even better. Like, oh my God, y'all. Look at it. Who would want that as a meal prep? I'll wait. And this is before I added the gravy. Here I'm bam, add some gravy on there. Look at it. Girl, you be doing it. So yes, this is a great meal prep. Let me know if y'all make it. I hope y'all like it. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Come back, check me out down in the comments. Let me know how y'all like this, how y'all like these videos. Until next time, bye.